What's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to be bringing you another God guide. GEB is one of the 5 gods that I recommended in my beginner's guide to Smite video, and I just think he's one of the best guardians for beginners. So let's go ahead and get started with his abilities. GEB has mobility that very few guardians have in Smite, so your rollout will start off slow and then slowly ramp up to gain more movement speed, and at a certain point it will make you CC immune, which is crowd control. So what that means is if you manage to time your rollout perfectly, then maybe you might be able to CC immune a stun or like a grab, mesmerize, a root, so on and so forth. GEB's second ability is called Shockwave. It is a cone ability. What it will allow you to do, the closer somebody is to you, the more damage you'll do, and the farther out, will of course do less. And what's fantastic with this is that it provides a knockup. Many people say knockup is some of the best CCs because you cannot purify it. So it can provide some pretty nice setup. So just keep that in mind. Coordinate with your team. Maybe provide some nice knockups for them to either peel or set up a kill. The next ability is Stone Shield. This is probably one of the best abilities in Smite, in my opinion. It is super good. It can save your teammates' lives. It can save your own. The idea of it is, if you see an teammate starting to take damage from an enemy, either they're low and they're chasing for the kill, or you anticipate them to take a lot of damage, throw the Stone Shield on them. It'll make sure that they mitigate a ton of that damage, not mitigate, but absorb. So it'll take the ally's shield or your own, the ally's health or your own health, and it'll put the shield on top of it, so the shield will get destroyed first, then it'll start taking out the health. So make sure to throw this on people that you expect to take damage, or they're low health and they're gonna die, so on and so forth. If you shield a teammate and you save their life because of it, they'll thank you for it. It is phenomenal. The next ability is Clericalism. It is a circle ability around you that does a percent amount of current HP. So keep in mind, with this ability, you cannot kill. You cannot kill directly with Cataclysm. So you want to be using this ability for setup. So say you go into the team fight and everyone's full health, and you use this ability right away. So at rank 1, 15, 2, 23, 25, 4, 30, level 5, and max rank will be, and increasing with a stun duration. So you'll use this ability, hit them for a ton of their health, and then on top of that, teammates will have follow-up for a kill with the stun duration. So make sure to let your teammates know, hey, I have Cataclysm up, let's push on this. So you definitely want to have follow-up on this ability. If GEB's using it on his own, you're not going to be doing much with it. The next ability, well, passive, is good in certain metas. Right now, we're not in a high crit meta, so it's not the best ability to brag about. But when Clericalism is doing good, when crit is doing good, GEB's passive is doing good. So it makes sure that GEB is mitigating even more crit damage than even before than most guardians would be. Like, seriously, if you are playing as a hunter and I'm playing against a GEB, I am not building crit just because of his passive. Alright, let's go ahead and start with your level order. First things first, you want to be leveling your 2 at first, at level 1 for clear. After that, I generally level my Stone Shield to make sure that my ADC or my other allies are okay. After that, I level my rollout to make sure I have clear. I have an escape. From here on out, I'm maxing my 3. The only reason you would not be maxing your 3 is if you were having, say, maybe a fun game, for example, and you want to level your Shockwave just for a nice little fun game of damage GEB. Don't highly recommend it, but you know, if you want to have fun, knock yourself out. So then I'm going to put a point into my Stone Shield, Alt, Stone Shield, Shockwave, Alt, Stone Shield, Shockwave, 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 Alt, roll out, Alt, roll out, Alt. This is about the ideal level order that you're aiming for. So keep that in mind. Alright, that being said, let's move on to the build that you're going to be going. For the most part, your build's going to be the same, but there's a few starter items that could be different. I'm just going to discuss it now. You can go the choice between these two, but in the sake of this just being Conquest, from here on out, I'm going to describe this in guides in the standpoint of Conquest. Generally, the same rules will apply. You're just going to get your builds online just a little bit faster. So, unless if I'm playing Arena, I'm going Guardian's Blessing. Primary reason, it lets you get your build just online so much faster. In Arena, Golden XP aren't even really a factor. You don't even have to think about it. You can AFK the entire game and still be at a decent level. That being said, generally the item that I'm going is the tier 1 of Gauntlet of Thebes. That's what we're going to be going into. Then you can get 2 health pots, and then you can get 2 mana pots. Regardless of what game mode you're playing, this is going to be a decent amount of sustain for you to farm up. Generally, you want to be backing at least to the point. I like to get tier 2 boots. Sorry. It'll be enough movement speed and power for you to start clearing wave a little bit better at the next rate. I will describe what you should be doing, but in just a moment. So once you back, generally on GEB, I like to go Shoes of Focus. Shoes of Focus is fantastic on GEB, primarily because cooldown is fantastic on GEB. He needs cooldown. His shield is amazing, you want it up as soon as possible. His ult is amazing, you want it up as soon as possible. And your knockup is just as great as the other two. You want it up for CC and set up for your team. If you time a knockup and another teammate's ability, you can probably set up some pretty nasty things. So generally when I back the first time as GEB, I went tier 2 boots. I'll farm up again. The second time that I back, I want the full boots, and then what I'll try to go for is a Chalice of the Oracle, generally only if I'm playing Conquest. This will grant your team amazing vision. The Season 5 map is massive, so you want to cover that map with as many wards as possible. The more vision, the better. It's practically so that you make sure that your ADC doesn't get ganked, so that you know if they're rotating, say, to Gold Fury. You need wards, pretty much. The more vision, the better. The next item, you generally don't want to fight until you get Gauntlet of Thebes online, and then you also have stacks. There is a issue kind of with the item builder, sorry, couldn't remember the name of it, where they don't show the stats for full build of this item. So at full stacks, Gauntlet of Thebes will give you 60 protections. I'll describe the passive in just one moment, but so keep in mind with this build, once you have stacks online, you will have an additional 60 protections. So the way Gauntlet of Thebes stacks work, you cannot last hit minions. This is not your Transcendence. This is not your Warlock staff. You have to make sure that an ally is around you, or you freeze the wave so that you get stacks for your Gauntlet of Thebes. You cannot last hit the minion wave. If you last hit the minion, you don't get the stack for Gauntlet of Thebes. Just keep that in mind. Also know that God kills contribute 5 to that, so don't think that you have to AFK in front of a minion wave. If you're fighting, then you can also rotate to maybe get a kill, get more stacks. But typically speaking, you don't want to fight until Gauntlet of Thebes is finished. This is just so that you have protections. Generally, you're going to be pretty squishy without the protections. So that 60 protection boost is going to be pretty nice to have. So the next two items are going to be based on who you're playing against. I'm going to be placing the build order based on that you're playing a typical game of Conquest with typical roles. After Gauntlet of Thebes, you're going Sovereignty. And then, of course, after that, you're going to be going its brother item, Heartward Amulet. This is primarily because Aura meta is back. These 4 items right here are going to be the staple of almost every support build. You're going to see it in so many places. It's just, so, if you're playing any other Guardian, if you like any other Guardian more than GEB, you can take this 4 items here and throw it on them. Generally, this is going to be enough protections for you. If you want a little bit more, this is typically what I go in almost any tank build. I'm going Mantle of Discord. It is just super good. Passive, saved my life tons of times. The cooldown's nice. 60 protections is a lot. And also, you're getting that nice CDR that GEB needs to get his shield up online faster and his ult online faster. After that, there are a few different things that you can go. This is primarily because some items saw some buffs recently. So your Jade Emperor's Crown is looking better than before again, and then also your Shoguns is looking better. You just need to keep in mind. Sorry, this is going to be in patch 5.6. Console is on 5.5 right now, so know what patch you're in. But when the patch does roll around, keep in mind that these are options. Following that, you don't want to build these right now on console on 5.5, but if you are on 5.6, these are options. After that, generally the item I like to go is Relic Dagger. This is because support relics are extremely good. You want them up in almost every team fight. It helps a ton. And look at that again. You're getting that cooldown reduction you need, and on top of that, you're getting more health, which is also what you want as a support. So then, with this current build, this is where I typically go in an average game. You are going to have an additional 60 protections. The item builder doesn't work, so it doesn't show the 60 protections you'd be getting from Gauntlet of Thebes at full stacks. So just keep that in mind. I didn't go over this in my Bologna video, but I'm going to start going over this now. You want to be going as far as relics. I like to go sprint first, and then for GEB, it's really nice to have blink. These in an average GEB game, this is what I'm going for. After that, you can go shell, or you can even go if you're feeling crazy, you can even go frenzy, maybe. Everything else, it's going to be very situational. So your Ankh, obviously get if they have healers, and then your Phantom if they have, say, an Odin or a Gobrakan that you don't feel like dealing with. Anyways, that would be all from me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It means a ton for me, and I'll see you next time.